to my channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button right now. That way you don't miss any of the videos, and that way you're helping me help you. Now let's jump into simplifying rational expressions. This is something that you might be seeing for the first time. Now this is a part 1 video out of many other videos that are coming and that you can see later on. But let's start with something simple. Let's start with a quick definition, and this is going to help us for things that we do later on. And the definition is this: when the denominator of a rational expression, the denominator is a number on the bottom of a fraction, okay? So when the number on the bottom of a rational expression is a fraction, is 0, okay, when that number is 0, that expression is undefined. Now here I have a very simple example. Hopefully this helps you understand what this means. Okay, so if I have, say x is whatever expression, and that is being divided by 0. Okay, when you have something like this, then that expression, or then that rational expression is undefined. And this is why it makes sense. Okay, say that you have, we know that 0 divided by 5, okay, 0 divided by 5 is 0, okay? But because what you're saying here is, well, if I divide let's think about it in a different way. What number times 5 gives me 0? And well, that number will be 0. Now, what about if I change it around? Okay, what number that you multiply times, oh, sorry, I just wrote the same thing. What if we flip it around? Okay, and I'm just using 5, but this works for any number. What if you say 5 divided by 0? What number times 0 gives you 5? Okay, what number times 0 gives you 5? Well, that number is undefined. You cannot find it. Okay, we don't say there's no solution, but we say it's undefined. Well, the same thing goes for rational expressions. Well, enough of me talking about this part. Let's go ahead and jump into some example. Okay, now it says, for what values of a variable is each expression undefined? For what values of the variable is each expression undefined? So let's start with number 1. Now, in order for this to be undefined, I have to make this denominator equal to 0. So let's think about this, okay? Let's think about it. What value, let's start with t, okay? Let's start with t. What value can I make t so that the whole thing on the bottom is equal to 0, okay? So if you're multiplying 3 times t to the power of 2 times z, what value can I make t so that everything else is equal to 0? Think about that for a moment. Well, if you thought, well, if I multiply 3 times, let's say I make t equal to 0, let me erase this. If I make t equal to 0, then that whole multiplication is going to be 0, because 3 times, well, 0 to the power of 2 is 0, and well, 0 times z is also 0. So if t is equal to 0, then the whole thing will be undefined. Now let's think about the value of z. Okay, what value can I make z now? What value will z have to be in order that the denominator is also equal to 0? Well, if we said, well, if I make z equal to 0, then the whole thing will be also equal to 0. Okay, the whole thing, because all of this, 3 times t to the power of 2 times 0, anything times 0 is 0. So these are the two values that will make this rational expression undefined. Now on this second one, we have y minus 2. y minus 2. And the question is the same. What will value have to be? What value will y have to be to make this denominator equal to 0? To make this whole thing on the bottom equal to 0? Well, how about if we solve for y? If we add 2, then we have y is equal to 2. And well, we can prove that. Okay. If we say y, sorry, it's no longer y, but it's 2. We can say 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. Well, 0 is equal to 0, yes. So if y is equal to 2, then the whole expression will be undefined. And maybe you see where I'm going with this. This is something that you might have done in the past. Now here we have a multiplication of two binomials. And what we can do here is set each binomial equal to 0, so that we can find which value of x, okay, because we're trying to find which value of x. Maybe we have two values, maybe we have only one, but let's see about that. So I was saying, for which value of x will this rational expression be undefined? Okay, so let's solve for x. Well, if we subtract 6 on both sides, we get x is equal to -6. And here we can add 1 on both sides. We're left with 2x is equal to +1. In order to leave x alone, I can divide, and we get x is equal to +1/2. So these are the two values for which this expression will be undefined.